everybody. Welcome in. It is Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and my name is Trisha Guizon. My business is Pink Poodle Jewelry Studio, and today we're going to learn a fun Czech glass bracelet. I believe I'm going to do a 3-strand bracelet. You know me, I just kind of design on the fly a lot. That's just how I create the best. I'm going to go ahead and share this out. Just give me a minute. And I'm going to share this live out. And if you can share and like for me, that's so much appreciated. Just take me a moment. If you're watching this on replay in YouTube, this initially airs on Facebook, so I like to share it out as I am teaching to all the different groups. Did I do that? No, I do. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Okay, so guys, we are going to do a fun Czech glass bracelet today. I have some beautiful fire polish with a variety of different beads that you'll get to see once I turn down the camera, but some gorgeous Czech glass we're going to use. And like I said, I believe I'm going to do a 3-strand today, just kind of play around with it. I have some beautiful Czech flowers, some things like that. Just to do a little house cleaning here, I just want to let you know that, as always, my links are in the description. My affiliate links, my social media links. So if you don't follow me on any of those, please do that. Just subscribe, like, follow me. Much appreciated. We are also going to be using some Czech flowers. If I didn't say that, I probably did, but so if you would like to purchase some beautiful Czech glass, you can head over to jewelloom.com. That is where these beads are from. They're absolutely stunning. She always has a beautiful variety over there. And as I said, the link is in my description for that. So let's get the camera turned down here, guys, and let's get started. May take a moment for my camera to turn because it's been giving me a little bit of trouble lately. So if it is black for a few moments, know that I am still here. So grab my pliers here. There we go. Here we are. So these are just some thunder polish crystals that I have received from Jesse James Beads. Those are in addition to the beautiful Czech glass that I am using from Jewel's Shop. I'm using some string wire, some beading wire, and then I pulled out a variety of charms from Dress It Up Buttons, and I'm going to probably use a charm or two on the bracelet as well. That's just to give us a little bit of spring, because these have some beautiful flowers and butterflies and different things in them. So I'm just going to set those over to the side for now, as that'll be like our last addition. I have some crimps here too, guys. Some wire guardians, a few of those, some wire guardians. And like I said, I have the 19 strand here, but the 49 would work just as well. So I'm just going to get myself started here. I'm going to go ahead and open up my beading wire. And I'm going to string right on to my roll. That's just how I like to do it, so that I don't have a lot of waste. And I'm going to open up some of these strands, and I'm going to pull in some more bead bowls here so we can get everything kind of out, so we can use these beautiful beads. So these are 3mm fire polish. They're stunning. I'm gonna, excuse me, 4mm. I apologize, that's 4mm. All right, and then here's our 3s. This is the same pattern. I do apologize for the dog barking. That is per usual. So, and this is the 3. Okay. I'm just going to put those in the same because they're all in the same color family. And then these are actually the same version, but in 6s. Super gorgeous as well. Okay. So let's put those all together because they are so coordinating together that it's perfect. And then I just have, let me set this over here, a variety here. I think I'm going to use these circles. And I'm going to set this fire polish to the side yet. I'm just not quite sure on that yet. I think I'll be using those. Just give me one moment here. Okay. Be using these beautiful round beads. I just love variation on these. You could string them just as they are and it would look gorgeous. So let's get those around, and then our little squares. Okay. All right, now we're ready to start stringing. Okay, so like I said, I'm using 19 strand, but you could use whatever you like. And I'm going to make sure that these flowers are also front and center. I'm trying to communicate with my husband to deal with the dog. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to start by adding one of these beautiful square beads on. And I'm also going to get out some, spacers here. Let me find some. I think I'm going to stick in the copper family. I think it's going to look really cute. So I have a variety here that I'll pull out. These are all a little bigger, but it looks like those are going to have to work. So let me just pull those out there. And I'm going to add one of our fire polish. And this is going to be a very colorful bracelet, guys. It's going to be very colorful and springtime and all those wonderful things. So let's put this fire polish on. Move this back here, guys, so you can see what I'm doing a little better. All right. I'm going to add a spacer. Okay. And then let's add another Czech glass. I guess it's all Czech glass, so I'll get another fire polish. Hi, Karen. Welcome in, my friend. Thank you for joining me. And then we're going to pick up these beautiful, one of these beautiful square beads as well. The center of each of my strands is going to be one of our Czech flowers, because I think they would make a beautiful centerpiece for this. But so as you can see, it's going to be very colorful, but all the colors really go well together. Okay, so we're going to do, let's pick up some 4s here. I'm going to get like a purple color. There. So I'm thinking in between each, let's do this. Let's put a spacer. Let's do one of these little flowers. So I'm going to put a spacer. This is one section that I've done so far, and this has the square, the fire polish, and the spacer on either side. So I want to have a break there, so I'm going to put another spacer I'm going to put one of these little flowers and then a spacer on the other side of that. Grab this. And I apologize for the noise around today, guys. As usual, the dogs and the neighbors, everybody likes to kind of make a ruckus. So I'm just going to grab another square. And then I'm just going to start this over for this particular strand. This is going to be my pattern. Okay. And then fire polish. And that there. Spacer. And another fire polish. I just love these colors. They're just so beautiful together. All of them just coordinate so well. Let me move the camera down just a hair for you guys so you can see a little better. That's a little far up. There we go. Little beads there today. All right, so another one of our square beads. This time like a pretty beige color. All right, so that's another one of our runs there. So let's do another spacer. Oops. Another flower. And another spacer. And then we'll start the next run. Each run looks different though because of the colors. There we go. Now you can see better. Because of the color difference, it looks like you're really doing something completely different, but it's just the colors that are making it appear like there's a huge difference to it. All right, so fire polish, spacer, and fire polish. Now, this is just simple stringing, but you can really make some pieces with a lot of impact with simple stringing if you know how to do it correctly. So this is what we have so far. Loving it. So we're done with another one of our sections. So we're going to do a spacer, one of our small Czech flowers, those are so pretty, aren't they? And let's see, find the hole. And then another spacer. Now we're going to make this until it's approximately 6 inches long because my wrist is 7. So I do 6 and then that allows enough room for the clasp to come in there. Okay. Let's do this really pretty peach color. And some fire polish. And this is very random, this design, but I just think it flows so well. Okay, whoops, camera. And another fire polish here. And a square bead. Okay, we're going to build 3 strands 6 inches long to make a 3-strand bracelet. And another flower. I think this one's so gorgeous. These flowers, I could just use them all day, every day, you know. They're just so gorgeous. Okay. So then we're going to start another run. Here we are, guys. And each one of our strands are going to be made a little bit different for designing. So let's go see where we are. I'm actually measured at, let's see, about 4 3/4. So we have a little ways to go yet. So let's do another one. Okay. And another fire polish. And another square bead. All right, and now we are back to doing another flower. And that's, we only have a few more little flowers left, so that'll be perfect. We'll have just enough to do this strand. I think maybe with one or two left. Okay, and as I'm building now, I'm going to keep measuring this to make sure that I am on the right track. And it looks like I'm going to be at about 6 inches with this check flower, but I do not want to end on that check flower. I don't, well, yeah. No, I don't want to end on that check flower because this is not, this is a strung bracelet. If I was doing an elastic bracelet where they were going to meet up at the ends, then I would leave the flower on there because then that would be, it would fall in place right between the two ends. So what I'm going to do here to make up for some of the space that flower is taken away, I'm going to take 2 of these round beads. I'm going to put one on either end. And I think I'm going to go ahead and snip this one because that way then I can go in on either end and I don't have to restring everything. So I'm going to put 2 of those rounds on this end, these beautiful little round beads, and 2 on the other end before we crimp it, just to make sure my measurement is where I need it. Just to give it a little oomph on the end and to add just that tiny bit of length that we need. Okay. All right. So let's see where we are now. So we could actually get away with just using one. So we'll take these extra ones that we put on off, and we are at a perfect length. So now what we're going to do with this strand is we're going to go ahead and put our wire guardian and our crimp on so it's ready for us whenever we're ready to hook everything together. And I'm going to get my crimps. Now, my crimper of choice is the On Terra crimper, but whatever you have as far as crimpers will work for this. Let's see if I can knock everything over. All right, there's those. Okay, so simply for crimping, you're going to take your end, of course, of your bracelet, the one end, and you're going to be careful. If you don't have a spring on here, be careful that everything doesn't slide off. I didn't grab a spring, but I think I'll be okay. So I'm just going to put my crimp over the wire, just like so. And then I'm going to put my wire guardian on it. I'm going to go up through the one side of it and down through the other side. Okay. Now on this side, everything like your beads and everything do not have to be tight up against your crimp and your wire guardian, because on the other end is where you're going to adjust your tension and everything like that. So we have our little wire guardian on the end. So now the reason we put our crimp on first is so then I can slide it up and put both wires, make sure both wires are through the crimp. And I'm going to pull that up. Whoops. And I'm going to pull that up, keeping my wires straight on my piece here, because if your wires cross, it makes that. Oh, you have the double crimper, Karen. Okay, the Tara. What if you could tell me there in the chat? I often wondered what the difference is with the double crimper. Is it just the sizes of crimps that you can use with it? Because I need, I was looking at it and I wasn't sure about purchasing it as well. So we're just going to give this a squeeze with our crimper. And you can see how it puts that little dent in the middle and gives us like a little C shape. I'm going to flip my crimpers over and I'm going to come in from the front and I'm going to give that crimp a little squeeze so it folds over again. That is how I prefer my crimps. I want them to be as small as possible and as neat as possible. And so that's how I achieve that. I'm going to check it by pulling on it, making sure that's nice and solid. And I'm of the school that you trim the extra wire off because it's not going to do anything anyway except poke someone. That Kelly Sutton taught me that, and I agree wholeheartedly with it. It works so much better. So I trim that off. We have a very neat end there with our wire guardian and our crimp. So now we can slide our beads down there, just like so. The double crimper is able to crimp larger crimps too. I've crimped 14 gauge bead-along wire for bangle. Ooh, okay. Understood. All right, well, we'll see about getting that one then. So again, I'm going to slide my crimp on this end and slide on my wire guardian, going up through one side. It's the shape of like a little rainbow. And you're going to go down through the other side. And there's holes on the other side there. Okay. And what a wire guardian does, if you do not know, is it makes your wire a little stronger on the ends by putting that metal in there. Because when you're going to hook jump rings into a piece, you want to make sure that you have your wire guardians over top of your beading wire. At least I prefer it because you're going to get more longevity out of your pieces by doing that. So I just took that down through and I'm going to hold on to my wire guardian and I'm going to pull on this loose wire that I have here. Okay. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of space here so I can run my wire down through my crimp. So we have both wires inside that crimp. All right, just giving me a little breathing room just to get it down through there. Okay. And I know I want to keep what side I want to keep that on. So I'm watching that very carefully. Get that back over there so I don't cross my wires. And then I'm just going to kind of pull on this a little bit just to kind of make sure I don't want everything too tight. I want it to be able to drape nicely, but you want to give yourself like a fingernail space between the crimp and the bead. It just gives you some breathing room. And then we're going to push our crimp up. I like my crimps to be close to my wire guardians on the end. But you do you, as always. And I'm going to make sure that wire guardian's straight. And I just have myself a little tiny space there between the last bead and that crimp. Do you ever post the two ends of the wire guardians closer before crimping? I've had wire guardians with too large of spaces for my liking. Sometimes I do. But the size that I got, I really like. And don't ask me what it is. It just comes in a little... I think these are from BB Crafts, but I got them off Amazon. But they're all the same size. I'd have to look back at the purchase history to see. But I've never really had to do that with this. I know with some of the larger ones, I know my cousin uses those sometimes. Yes, push. Sorry. I knew what you meant, though. But yeah, my cousin uses larger ones. And sometimes she'll do that. She'll give them a squeeze. All right, so I'm just going to get in there and crimp. I'll turn this over. It makes my life a little easier. Give that a squeeze. And give it a come in from behind there. And this is how I find with my Om Terras that work better for me, to make sure that I get a fold over there. And then just give a squeeze. We can get it in there. Here we go. And then we're going to trim our wire. Simple as that. So we have our first strand done for our bracelet. So we're going to do the same steps. Okay, but I'm going to use a different pattern. I think I'm going to, deciding on which one of these to incorporate. I think they both would look pretty. Well, maybe we'll just do a simple strand of the larger and the smaller. I don't know. I'm going for the blue, guys, I think. Yeah, let's do the blue. And then how about some of this lighter blue crystals? Too many crimpers, so little time. Now I have to try that one too. Oh no, Terry. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do with this one. Each one of these strands, I want to make sure that I'm giving it a pop. There's something in there special. I mean, not that the beads aren't special, they are, but you want to make sure that each strand is as pretty as the next one, okay? So fire polish will always do the trick, you know, but let's put in, and I didn't use any of my 3mm beautiful mix here, my fire polish, so I think I'm going to pepper some of those in there as well. I'm going to set our strand that we have done up here and out of the way, and I'm just going to start stringing just like we did for the first one. I have my strand here coming off of my roll, so we don't have as much waste, and I'm just going to start stringing. And I think we're going to put on, let's use some different spacers for this one. Let's pull these ones out. Okay. Put a spacer. Whoops. It is like finding a durable and consistent flush cutter. The search is eternal. Yes, Terry, that's for sure. Karen says, Terry, the Om Terra crimper changed my work. It never fails. Just use good crimps. Yep. I use a Euro tool crimper. Okay. Yes, they are. There's nothing like a good one. And I have to agree with Karen. The Om Terra has never failed me. Not once. So it's very, very sturdy. It's does a fantastic job every time. So we're going to pick out some of these 3mm fire polish. That's a 4. So let's do, we did our 2, 8, is this 6? Yeah, this is 6mm fire polish here. And as I said, guys, at the beginning, if you're looking for these items, they will be at jewelloom.com. And I do have a link in the description if you're looking for these type of beads. Jules has a gorgeous, gorgeous check glass selection. So this. And don't forget to like and share my live, please, guys. Appreciate that. Okay, so I'm just putting a 3mm fire polish, one of these tiny little 2mm thunder polishes, and then another 3mm. And I'm going to pop some different colors into this one just to give it a little zhuzh, you know. So I'm going to add another 6mm. And these strands can be simple, guys. You don't have to go crazy. If you want to, go for it. But these can be simple because these beads are absolutely stunning. So when you have gorgeous beads, you know, you don't have to have an in-depth pattern for it to look beautiful. So we're going to pick another 3mm. Yes, I bought it from Laura's shop as well. The Onterra. Okay. Let's get warm in here. We're supposed to go up to 78 here in PA today. So it is only April, so I'm not sure what the weather thinks it's doing. I'm not complaining because we could certainly have snow. That has happened to us in the past. Whoops. Forgot to put my spacer on. I think I'm going to turn my fan on, guys. Hang on one second. You know, when you're middle-aged, things start happening as far as hot flashes and things like that. So it's par for the course, you know. So we're going to do a 3mm. I'm going to raise this camera up just a smidge, you guys, because I think it's not getting the whole thing here. I'm going to scooch this in here so we can see better. The only thing is you have to watch, guys, is as you're pulling, you can pull off more of your strands. And what I usually do, and I don't know why I didn't do it this time, is keep the plastic cover on it so it keeps it from moving out too much. So that's a little trick of the trade. So I just want about as much as I need out there, and then I'm going to pop this back on it. Keep things neat. Okay. So then, where are we? We are at the part to do the fire polish and the thunder polish. Have you all ever used thunder polish? This is a new thing to me. It may have been around a lot longer than I realized, but I am enjoying it. Okay. Keep my hands out of the way so you can see what's going on there, right? It's in the upper 80s here in Maryland. I'm 2 hours from Lancaster. Oh, you're 2 hours from Lancaster. They are amazing crystals, Karen. Karen, did you go to Bead Fest last year? It's too bad I didn't get to see you if you did in Lancaster. And it's going to be this year as well. I think it's the first weekend of August this year, though. They keep moving it up. Okay. And we're just continuing with our pattern here. I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way so you can actually see what's happening here. But I think that's a pretty pattern. I'm happy with that. And just gives it that little color pop in between. Now I was recovering from torn Achilles. I'm finally driving and walking long distances. Oh, okay. Well, I'm hoping we'll see each other this year. If you go, please message me and let me know. I'm having bilateral total knee replacements May 30th. So it's kind of touch and go for me if I'm going to make it. to Bead Fest this year, but it is in August, so I'm going to work really hard to kind of get my knees where they're at least semi decent to go. Oh yes, please give me heads up. I'd love to meet you in person. Um Oops, and I forgot a spacer there, guys. Nobody told me. We were too busy gabbing. That's always my problem. I didn't tell myself either. Yeah, it was really fun last year. Got to be on the JTV show that they had. It was the one that they do online. We weren't on TV or anything, but it was super fun. They gave out great prizes, and there was a lot of good vendors there. And I think that it was just kind of new there, so I'm hoping this year we'll get some more vendors um, than what we had, but I'm hoping for this year we do. Okay, so I'm good there. Okay. So now we're going to continue on. My mom had both her knees done. How did she do? Did she have them done at the same time? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. And I'm like, I just want to do it all at one time and get it over with. Not go through it twice. It's going to really stink. I'm sure it's going to be bad for a while, but I can do it. I know at least mentally I'm strong enough. I'm hoping physically I am as well. They give you exercises to do ahead, so I'm hoping those help. But and May 30th is actually my birthday, so happy birthday to me, I guess. But oh, crud. Forgot another one. I'm on a roll, guys. That knee surgery gets me distracted every time I talk about it. Just that worries me, but I have a good support system, and that makes all the difference. So we're just continuing to string our pattern until we get to our 6 inches. Okay. We are at currently 3 3/4. So yeah, these fire polish are stunning. I think it's going to look really good next to our, oh yeah, that's going to be a beautiful Czech bracelet, I think. So I'm debating here if I want to put a flower in the middle here before I go any further. So that would be at about 3 inches. So that'll be, I'm just measuring here off the side here, guys, on my bead mat. Okay. So let me decide if I want to put a flower in the middle. Do we want the blue? Maybe that one would look better. I think so. I think so, guys, because I think it'll really just give it that extra something. Yes, said it was painful. Took her a few weeks to get fully mobile. When she woke up from surgery, they had her feet on a bicycle pedals and moving. She was in her early 60s. Wish she had done it sooner. Yes, I'm only 48 years old, so it's unusual, they say, for some of my age to have all this done like this. But I have had Lyme disease, chronic Lyme disease, a very long time, and it has taken its toll on my joints, all my joints, but the knees especially. So yeah, hey, if you can get exercise in while you're sleeping, why not, right? Oh my goodness, that'd be funny waking up on a bicycle. Okay, so I'm just adding our thunder polish and our other beads. So that flower took us to, oops, that flower took us to about 3¼ inches. So it's about the center. I think it was weird to see her feet moving and her laying there. I bet. I bet. Okay, so we're just going to continue our pattern then on this side. Okay. So I'm going to kind of go with the same colors I used on the other side just to keep everything kind of the same. It's a 4. That's not going to do me any good. Close to it, and as close as I can here. Looking through our little beads here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So we'll add that. And the thunder polish. I mean, not that we don't have enough sparkle with the fire polish, but more is more for me as far as sparkle. Okay. Then we need a spacer. Hi, Glowy. Welcome in, babe. How are you? Gloria is my best friend, guys. She's here hanging out with us today. Good to see you, Glow. We're making our fire polish bracelet, but you know that because I just told you before I went on air. So this was our first strand that we did, if you missed that. So that's our first strand, and I'm working on the second strand. So we are doing that. Okay. And then okay, yep, that's how we're doing her. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. It takes me a moment sometimes to get my head back where it needs to be. I thought I was going to miss it. Glad you're still here. Very pretty. Thank you. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that. And then we're going to need a coral. And another thunder polish. And then a blue. Yes, Arwen was in the background entertaining us for a while, Glow. I know you're shocked by that. Always. If my dogs don't make an appearance, it's a miracle. Kaylee's in here, and she's being as quiet as a mouse. She's sleeping on her bed. She's a good girl. All right, fire polish. Of course, she is 14 and a half, so. Okay, so I'm going to put this last spacer and last fire polish on, and then I'm going to give it a measure and see where we are. Okay, we're about at 6 inches. So I'm going to give myself what I'm going to do here, guys, because I want this one, the other ones to kind of drape. I'm going to like a 6 inch and like a 6 1/4. Not Arwen. She's so quiet. Yeah, no. I just want to give myself a little drape on this. Let me see if I want to add. Because with the 3-strand bracelets, I don't want them just to be like poker straight. I like when you have a little bit of a drape on them. So I'm going to cut this loose from my roll here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to crimp it, but first I'm going to go ahead and add I think, just pops on the end here. Just maybe do a couple of these round beads, or just try one like we did last time, just to kind of keep it consistent and see if that adds just enough for us to have a little drape. Okay. So once I can get that in there, we can go ahead and measure it again. All right, so I'm going to take this and give it a measure. And that, I think, will be just enough to give us a little drape. Yes, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and do what we did before. I'm going to grab some wire guardians. And if I can get them apart, there we go. And a couple crimps. There we go. I don't know about you guys, but tell me if I'm alone. I always have to remove the caps on the top of these crimps with my teeth. Am I alone? Is it just me? Is it just me? Am I the wacky one? Okay, guys, so let's put our crimp on. And let's put our wire guardian on, just like we did earlier. And then I'm going to go ahead and run that second strand through that crimp like I did earlier. Just like so. Make sure my wires do not cross. Give myself a little squeeze with my crimpers. Me too, I put them in round plastic containers, just easier to open. Yeah, that's probably the smart thing to do. I'm glad someone else opens them with their teeth too. I don't feel so bad. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, Karen. That's an awesome idea. Just put them in a different container and you don't have to use your teeth. It's kind of gross, you know? So, and I'm just going to trim that right too, just like we did before. I checked my crimp to make sure it was nice and solid there. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. I'm going to move this one back out of the way here. And I'm just going to tip my beads, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Put my crimp on. Put my wire guardian on. Yeah, Lord knows I have tons of containers around here. I think we all do, beaders. Just like we're always buying storage and different things. I just put a video up on my channel. I got some storage from Art Dots and I'm loving it. It has like 192 bottles in it. It's crazy how much you can get in it. I just love it. All right, so same thing here. I'm just going to make sure I have everything. I'm going to put my thumbnail in there and just give it a little push so I have a little room to groove. Saved the glass bottles, bought little corks, put my extra chip beads in them. Pretty to look at. Yeah, that sounds like it. Oh, that would be adorable. You're so smart. Of course, I knew that already, but. So we're giving another squeeze. And we're going to do a little bend. And just make sure that everything is nice and secure. If I can get my pliers where I need them. Sometimes I just can't get myself in the right angle. I have to kind of finagle it a little bit before I give a squeeze. And it slips on me. But that is user error. That is not the tool's error. That's for sure. Okay, there we go. And then cut that off. So number 2 is officially done. So we only have 1 more to do, guys. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my wire guardian on. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads. And then I'm just going to tip my beads I think what we're going to do is maybe incorporate these big flowers. You tell me if you think it's a little too over the top, okay? This is what I'm thinking. I want to do these big flowers, like all of them basically, across the way. And incorporate them into the piece. I don't know how many I'm going to need, but I have a variety of colors here, and then I have my little ones as well. But I'm thinking, would that be too much, do you think, if I did a strand with that and with maybe some fire polish in between, or use our squares in our rounds, or we could also use that. I have this strand and this strand here. Maybe put this, that's getting a little chunky though. And I think I kind of wanted it to stay a little bit more delicate. So I may put these to the side here. This is the sixes and the flowers. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of need something larger in between those. I don't know, guys. What do you think? And I'm afraid this will kind of make it drabby looking. So, and I do have these thunder polish, which are absolutely stunning. That we could just do those in between the flowers if we wanted to, but let's see. What do we want to do? Such a difficult decision, you know. Okay, so I think I'm going to just go back to these colors that we had used earlier because I really, really love that. And we'll incorporate some more flowers into it. That's the plan. Hopefully you guys agree with that. Okay, let's put these Gorgios. So you could mix the thunder polish with your bead mix. Yes, I certainly could. Yes. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think that would be really pretty. Glow grease. Okay. Let's do that. More is more, right, guys? I love it when we can create together. I just love it. So I'm just going to put our beads around us here. You might not get to see all of them because I need a little room to string, but this is what we're looking at so far. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull some of our stringing thread out and leave our little plastic thing on. And we're going to start stringing. So let's see. I think I'm just going to put these with this. So everything's kind of in the same place. So let's see. Start with a thunder polish. These are 3mm rondelles. Okay. And let's do, hold on, I'm going to get some little round spacers that I have that I want to use. Let me grab them. Here we go. Because I think we need some of these little rounds instead of the daisies the whole way through. Okay, agreed? All right. So let's add these. And then add our, let's see, one of our 4mm fire polish. Do you guys think the flowers the whole way across would be too much? Because you know I'm always into putting more and more. Actually, I'm going to move that orange one because it doesn't look good with that copper. Do a square. Okay, let's see. And if we do one of our flowers, kind of like that. All right. And then I'm going to do another square. And a spacer. And another thunder polish. Every time I use thunder polish, I always think of that song by Imagine Dragons, Thunder and the Thunder, Lightning and the... You know what you get with me. You just know this already, so. So here we go. Add another flower. Those square flowers are amazing. I love that they are flat instead of cubes. Yes, definitely. They are gorgeous. I'm just afraid it's going to be too much with what we have going there. Well, let's go for it. Let's go for it. What's everybody say? Let's go for it. And we'll keep up our pattern here. Okay. And then we need a square. Yeah, if you guys are looking for this Czech glass, don't forget you can always check Jules out. And I have links in my description for everything. You have to excuse me if I said it already, because you know my cognitive sometimes from the Lyme can be challenging. Can be challenging. So let's put a real pretty piece of fire polish. Yes, it would be a lovely drop necklace. Definitely. You could do a chain with it. I hear something in here, a bug, probably a stink bug with my luck. So then we're going to go ahead and let's see where we are. 2.5. I got to tell you guys, I'm not digging that. I'm not. I'm going to go with another idea I have. I think I may save these for something else. But I'm not liking, I think it might be the spacers. I'm not sure, but the pattern that I'm not digging. So let's see. I'm going to go back for these ones. And I think we're just going to do like a mix of these colors. Just straight beads without spacers. Or maybe just put a few spacers in. Because that was just not giving me the feels. All right, let's put that on. Actually, yeah, let's do that. And then we're going to do square around square. Even sometimes stringing can be challenging. Stringing is a very easy concept to do, but the designing part of it is what can be the real challenge. Making sure everything kind of coordinates and you have a pattern that you like. And all right, so I like that. I'm really liking that. So let's just keep up on that. So we're going to do another fire polish. And then square. I love these beads. They're so stunning. Round and a square. This is a long project today, guys. We're hanging out for a while today. I appreciate you sticking with me as always. And then back to it. I like the look of the no spacers. I'm usually one that likes to pop metal into everything. Hi, Barb. Nice to see you. Barb says, I agree. Coming up with the design is the challenge. Definitely. That goes for any piece, I guess, but with the stringing, as simple as it is to put the beads on the string. As you could see earlier, I put those beads on and they didn't look too good, so you can always have that kind of episode happening. Okay, and I'm just going to build this up quick. Just get us on to hooking everything together. All right. That's the only thing I miss. I am new to your class. You are excellent. Oh, Barb, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I love doing this. I love teaching. I was just on with Danielle on Tuesday, and that Danielle Wicks, that was a super fun class. Okay. I'm getting there, guys. Okay. So we are at almost, we're at 3 3/4 inches, so we're getting there. You just can't go wrong with some good fire polish, you know. All right. We are getting there. Yeah, I think this is going to look a lot better, guys. At least than what I had there. I think so. Sometimes it's just simple. Sometimes you just need something straight and simple, straightforward, just to get the job done and to look good with everything. It does not have to be difficult to be a beautiful piece, that's for sure. Okay. And is that another? We're just going to continue our pattern here until we get to our desired length. And I'm going to drape this one a little bit too, like I did the other one. That means just add a few more beads on the ends, just to give it a little bit more room to groove. Hopefully we don't run out of fire polish, large fire polish anyway. I don't think we will, but let's measure here. Oh, we are almost there, guys. Almost there. We'll just put one more set, and I think we'll be at a perfect length. A set of the squares and a round and a square. Okay. All right. Well, now let's measure. See where we are. That one's 6.5. So let's do, I just feel like 6.5 might be a bit too drapey. That's 6 1/4. That's 6.5. I'm going to take these last 2 square beads off, and I'm going to cut my piece now off of the strand, or off of the roll, excuse me. Sorry, that's off camera, but I cut that loose. All right. And I'm going to take this last square off, and we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to do our wire guardians and our crimps. I think I need to grab another wire guardian. Hard to sit in this chair for an hour, but we're almost there, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and sticking with me. Okay, so I'm just going to grab another wire guardian. So we have 2, and I'm going to push these beads out of the way. and get our crimps by opening them with our teeth, probably. Okay, so there's 2 crimps. And we're going to do the exact same thing. In case you weren't here, we'll go over it again. Just going to add my crimp. Yeah, there's definitely a bug in here flying around. And my wire guardian. Okay, and I'm just going to thread that through my wire guardian. I know it's hard to see with my fingers there, but that's what it looks like. The strands are going through it, up one side and down the other. And then we're going to slide our crimp up over, and it's going to be over both of the wires that we have there, not just the one it's on, but over the loose one that we are using, the end of it. Okay. And then we're just going to crimp. And fold. And cut. And then we'll move this on up. I just dropped my beads down against that crimp that we just made. And I'm going to get my other crimp, my other wire guardian. Put that on. And pull that down so it's close, but not like super, super tight to your last bead, because you want to have a little bit of room for the beads to move around slightly. Okay. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take this end, we're going to put it down through the crimp. Okay. And up and out through that. And then just kind of adjust wherever you want it. Again, I'm going to take my fingernail and just push my fingernail down in between there to give me a little bit of room. And then give a squeeze and fold it over. Come on now. Let's try it this way. That way usually fights me, so we'll just do it upside down. Sometimes they don't want to cooperate, so we'll go ahead and go back to that later. So let's trim that string off. And now we can hook everything together with jump rings. Okay, so we're just going to grab some jump rings here. And I think we could get away with maybe like a 4 or a 5 millimeter. Just looking here to see what I want to use. I think we got some in there we can use. And I don't think I grabbed a clasp, so let me look here and see if I can grab a clasp. I'm going to go over here and grab one. Goodness, that's stuck from sitting so long. We're almost there, guys. Stick with me. Okay, so I think I'm going to just get a magnetic clasp. Those are my favorite. Let's grab those. One of those anyway. So we just need our jump rings and our clasp at this point. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these. Grab my clasp. All right. And then I'm just going to take my tweezer plier and my chain nose plier, and I'm going to open up one of our jump rings. Remember, when you're opening your jump rings, it's always front to back. You don't ever want to open them up side to side. All right, so I'm just going to string on this side of the ends of the wire guardians, just like so, in that order. And I'm going to hook my clasp onto that while it's open, so we don't have to do another step. And I'm just going to go ahead and move this front to back, and I want it to be nice and close. So you can kind of hear that little click, but I'm not talking, probably a little easier, but when you get them nice and close, they'll click together just like that. Okay. And that's how you always want to make sure and do your jump rings, because you don't want them being open and taking the chance of your piece falling apart. So I'm just going to string these on just like I did the others in the same order. Not unless you want them twisted, then you can do it in a different order. Okay, and I'm just going to put that clasp on, and we're going to do the same thing. There we go. And there we have our beautiful Czech glass bracelet. I hope you guys enjoyed this class. This was fun. It was a long one, but we did it. We got her done. Let me lay this down here so you can see the finished product. And then I'm going to get my camera turned around here. Let me know what you think. If you like it, I'm tickled with it. Hopefully it fits me. Yes, perfectly. Yay. I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks, Barb. Thank you, Barb. We made a fun little bracelet today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for hanging out. I always enjoy teaching you something new and exciting. And this video here will live on YouTube going forward. So if you need to revisit it to make, if you'd like to make make one of these, hit YouTube. It'll be over there. Now, guys, I want to give you one more tip before I sign off. With these magnetic bracelets, I always use a safety chain, because you just never know when something's going to bump it the right way and they're going to pop apart. Do all jump rings click shut? Yeah, Bart, they should click shut when you're doing it. If they don't, they're probably not as close as they should be. Now, a lot of people can get them close without the click, but that's something that just tells me. Because basically what that means is that they're kind of almost like that, overlap just slightly. And when you bring them together, they click. The metal clicks against each other. And you know they're about as close as they can be. So it's just something to strive for, you know, as you bead more and more. You know, strive for getting all of your jump rings to click when you put them together, because then you know you are secured and good to go. But as far as the clasp goes, guys, make sure and put a chain. I always use aluminum chain with my magnetic clasp, because thanks to my dad, I know this, aluminum chain does not stick to magnets. So you probably knew that, but I didn't. So I just put on a magnetic chain, about 2.5 inches I use. You can just try it out, see what works for you. But definitely put a little safety chain on your Czech glass bracelet. You don't want to lose that beauty. So have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.